Lomov and Stepanov now keep quarreling. There seems to be no end to their quarrel. They keep quarreling on and on. Lomov. Then you make out that I'm a land grabber? Lomov is asking Stepanovna whether she means to say that he's a man who grabs others' land, who takes away others' land. Are you calling me a land grabber? Madam, never in my life have I taken anybody else's land. Satisfied with what I have never touched anyone else's land. And I shall not allow anybody to accuse me of having grabbed others' land. You are accusing me of having grabbed your land. Oh, that's wrong. I have never done that in my life. Quickly steps to the carafe here pot, and drinks some more water. He is feeling highly excited, nervous, so he goes to the pot and drinks some water. Oxen meadows are mine. After drinking water, he feels more confident and strong, and he says, "Oh, look, oh, dear lady, oxen meadows are mine." Why has Lomo come to Stepanov's house? Lomov is in the house of Stepanov now, that is Natalia, to propose to her, but then proposal gets drowned. He has forgotten about the marriage proposal. Instead, he is busy quarreling with her over the land. Natalia, it is not true. They are ours. How can you say that? They are yours or they are ours? Natalia doesn't give up. She too shouts at him. Oh, no, mine. Natalia, it is not true. I'll prove it. I'll send my workers out to the meadows this very day. And Natalia says, I can prove that they are mine by sending my mowers, those who cut grass. I'll send my workers out to the meadows to cut the grass. Then you will know that they are ours. Lomov gets angry. Lomov says, what? How can you send your workers to my land? Natalia, my mowers will be there this very day. Come on, I'll be sending my mowers to the land Oxford Meadows right this moment. Lomo, I'll give it to them in the neck. Lomo says, let them come. If the workers come, I'll kill them. I'll attack them. I'll give them in the neck. I'll chase them. Natalia, you dare? Have you got so much of courage to chase away my workers from my land? Lomo clutches at his heart. He holds his heart, touches his heart. Oxen meadows are mine. You understand mine. Lomo is really nervous. He is on the verge of a breakdown. Natalia, please don't shout. You can shout yourself roughly, harsh in your own house, but here I must ask you to restrain, control yourself. Mr. Lomov, this is my house, not your house. In your house, you can shout, you can sing, you can do whatever you feel like doing. But then you are standing in my house and you should listen to what I'm saying and you should control yourself. You can't behave like a madman. Lomov. If it wasn't for this awful excruciating palpitation, if my whole inside wasn't upset, I would talk to you in a different way. Shouts loudly, oxen meadows are mine. Lomo tells Natalie, if it wasn't for this awful, excruciating, extreme palpitation. Now he says, but for my palpitation, oh, I am suffering from palpitation and my whole inside is upset. But for these two things, if I had been normal, if I had been stronger, if I hadn't had these problems, I would have spoken to you in a different way. I would have dealt with you in a different way. Then shouts loudly, oxen meadows are mine. Natalia, ours. Lomo, mine. Natalia, ours. Lomo, mine. Hearing the noise from the drawing room, father comes running in. Natalia's father comes running in, Mr. Shubukov. Shubukov is surprised and asks, what's the matter? What are you shouting at? Natalia asks, Father, please tell this gentleman who owns this oxen meadows, we or he. Natalia is asking her father to tell this gentleman, there is Romo, Who is the real owner of Oxford Meadows? Are we the owners or is the owner? Please tell him. Shubukov to Lomov. So nicely, so politely he talks to him. Shubukov politely, he calls him darling. Darling, Mr. Lomo, darling, the meadows are ours. Lomo says, but please, Stepan Stepanovich, how can they be yours? Now he tells our father that is wrong. Do be a respectable man. See, I know you are very reasonable. You are dignified. Be a reasonable man. My aunt's grandmother gave the meadows for the temporary and free use of your grandfather's peasants. The peasants used the land for 40 years, I remember, and got as used, accustomed, or habituated to as if it was their own. Then what happened is he goes on, blah, blah, blah. Now Lomo is telling Stepan Stepanovich calmly, coolly that once upon a time the meadows belonged to his family. But later his family got it back from them, no doubt. So he explains the background to Shubukov as he had done that to Natalia earlier. But please, Stepanovich, how can they be yours? Do be a reasonable man. I thought at least you would understand. My aunt's grandmother gave the free meadows for the temporary for some time, and free use of your grandfather's peasants that was given to your peasants for some time. The peasants used the land for 40 years, no doubt, and got accustomed to as if it was their own. It was a mistake that was not given to your peasants. But please, Stepan Stepanovich, how can they be yours? Do be a reasonable man. My aunt's grandmother gave the meadows for the temporary and free use of your grandfather's peasants. It was given to your workers. The peasants belong to your family for free use for just some time, not forever. The peasants use the land for 40 years. No doubt your peasants use it for 40 years and they got used to calling it their own. They got used to calling it their own. When happened that? He continues, Shubuko, excuse me, my darling, my precious, he calls him darling, my precious one. Why does he do that? Because he knows that he alone knows that he has come to propose his daughter. So he doesn't want to quarrel with him. He doesn't want to hurt his feelings. So very nicely he tells him, my precious, my darling, you forget just this, that the peasants did not pay your grandmother and all that because the meadows were in dispute and so on. Now everybody knows that they are ours. It means that you haven't seen the plan. You haven't seen the sketch. Shubukov explains to Lomo very clearly, saying that there was a dispute between the two families over these land meadows, but later it became his, and everybody knows it. And he tells him that, oh dear, you haven't seen the map, you haven't seen the sketch of the land. I'll prove to you they are mine. Shubukov says, oh, you won't prove it, my darling. Oh, how can you prove it? They are ours. I shall do it. Now he is getting angry with the father as well. Shubukov, dear one, why shout like that? Don't shout like that. You won't prove everything just by shouting, yelling. I don't want anything of yours and don't intend to give up what I have. Why should I? So he tells him he is not a lamb grabber and he doesn't want anything that belongs to others. At the same time, he doesn't want to give up what he has got. And you know, my beloved, that if you propose to go and argue about it, I would much sooner give up the meadows to the peasants than to you. There, do you understand? Now Shubukov slowly is getting angry with Lomo and tells him, if you keep arguing about the ownership of the meadows, you know what I'm going to do? I will give up those meadows to the peasants rather than giving it to you. Lomo, I don't understand. How do you have the right to give away somebody else's property, Mr. Shubukov? What are you talking about? the meadows belong to me, and you come and tell me that you will give it to the peasants as a gift. How can you do that? It's not your property, it's somebody else's property. That's my property. Shubhako. You may take it that I know whether I have the right or not, because, young man, I'm not used to being spoken to in that tone of voice. Shubhako tells him, look, no one has spoken to me in this tone of voice. And moreover, you are young enough to be my son. You can't be talking to me in that harsh voice. I, young man, am twice your age. I'm old enough to be a father, and ask you to speak to me without agitating yourself, without being frantic and all that. Don't be upset. Don't be agitated. Don't be irritated. Be very, soft. Don't speak loudly. Don't shout at the top of your voice. I can hear your voice very well if you speak in the normal way. No, you just think I'm a fool and want to have me on. You call my land yours. Then you want me to talk to you calmly, politely. Good neighbors don't behave like that. Stepanovich, you're not a neighbor, you're a grabber. Lomov loses his self-control and says, do you think I'm a fool to keep quiet when you tell me that my land belongs to you? You call my land yours, and when you want me to talk to you, and you want me to talk to you calmly, politely, I should shout at you even when you say that my land belongs to you. Good neighbors never behave like that. Stepanovich, you are not a neighbor. I can't call you a neighbor, you're a land grabber. You are confiscating my land. You're taking away my land. I should call you not a neighbor, a land grabber. What is that? What do you say? Natalia, Papa, send me the movers out of the meadows at once. Shubukov, what did you say, sir? Shubukov doesn't hear what Natalia is saying. Shubukov is still concerned about what he has called him, what Lomo has called him. Lomo has called him a land grabber. He can digest it. And he said, what do you say, sir, just now? Natalia, see, Oxum meadows are ours, and I shall give them up. I shall not give them up. I shall not give them up. Lomo, well, we'll see. I have the matter taken to the court, and then I'll show you. Now, Lomo threatens to drag them to court over this. Shubuko, to court? You're dragging us to court? You can take it to court and all that you can. I know you. You are just on the lookout for a chance to go to court and all that. A pettifogger. All your people were like that, all of them. Shubuko says, oh, you want to drag us to court? You can take us to court, no doubt, no doubt. You should do it, because you're always waiting for a chance to take the people to court. And you are a pettifogger. You quarrel over petty things, and all your people are like that, all of them. Everybody in your family is just like that. Not just you, even others in the family are fond of quarreling. Everybody in your house is waiting to file a case against others. You are a pettifogger. Not just you, your father and mother, everybody is like that. Lomo, oh, never mind about my people. Lomo feels upset because Shubukov runs down the people of his family. He says, oh no, don't say anything about my people. The Lomos have all been honorable people, and not as one has ever been tried for embezzlement like your grandfather. So Lomo tells him that the people of his family have been very dignified, very honorable, highly respected, and not one of my family has ever been tried in a court for embezzlement, cheated, like your grandfather. Now the quarrel becomes very, very serious, and they bring in people of both the families. Lomo says, your grandfather, oh, I still remember. You may have forgotten, but I remember that your grandfather was taken to court for cheating. Nobody in my family has been ever arrested or tried in a court for cheating. Shubuko, you Lomos have had lunacy in your family, all of you. Shubukov doesn't let him go. He says, everybody in your family is not for lunacy, madness. Everybody in your family is a crack. Natalia, all. Natalia supports her father by saying that everybody, including you, everybody is known for madness. Shubuku, your grandfather was a drunkard, and your younger aunt Natasha Mikhailovna ran away with an architect, and so on. Or do you think that people outside don't know the stories of your dirty stories of your family? Your grandfather was a drunkard, and your younger aunt Natasha Mikhailovna, she ran away, eloped with an architect. Everybody in the town knows about it. And your mother, oh, don't tell me just that. Don't tell me that. Even I know so much about your family.